But here's the truth: sometimes a closed door is not a rejection at all. It's divine protection. It's God stepping in and saying, I know this isn't what you wanted, but it's not what's best for you. What looks like a setback or a disappointment from our perspective is often God's way of protecting us from something that we can't see, something that could hurt us in the long run. We might not understand it in the moment, but God's wisdom far surpasses our own. He sees the full picture while we see only a piece of it. He knows what's on the other side of that door, and sometimes, out of his great love for us, he closes it to protect us from something that isn't meant for us. It's hard to accept, especially when we've invested time, energy, and emotion into something. But what we often don't realize is that if God allowed us to go through that door, we might end up in a situation that would cause more harm than good. Maybe that job would have led to burnout, or the company wasn't as stable as it seemed. Maybe that relationship wasn't as healthy as we thought, or would have distracted us from a greater purpose. We can't always see what's behind the closed door, but God can. He knows what lies ahead, and he knows when to intervene, even if it feels painful in the moment. This idea of divine protection goes beyond just saving us from potential harm. It's also about redirecting us to something better. God doesn't just close doors and leave us standing there with no options. He closes doors to guide us to the ones we're supposed to walk through. Every closed door is a sign that there's another path, another opportunity, another plan that is more aligned with his will for our lives. It's his way of saying, this isn't it, but trust me, I have something better in store. The challenge is learning to trust that promise, even when we don't have all the answers yet. It can be difficult to trust in the midst of disappointment, but the key is understanding that God's plans are always for our good. He doesn't withhold good things from us out of cruelty or indifference. He is a loving father. And just as a parent wouldn't let their child run into danger, he won't allow us to step into situations that aren't good for us. When he closes a door, it's because he's protecting us from something we don't yet understand. He's making sure we don't settle for less than his best. There's also a timing element to this. Sometimes a closed door isn't about the opportunity being wrong. It's about the timing being wrong. We might be ready for something, but the situation or the people involved aren't ready yet. Or maybe the season isn't right for what we want to happen. God's timing is perfect, and he knows when the conditions will be right for something to flourish. If we rush ahead of his timing, we might end up in a situation that's prematurely developed, and it won't have the foundation it needs to last. So God closes the door not just to protect us from harm, but to protect the timing of his greater plan. What feels like rejection is often a delay designed to give us something better at the right time. We have to remember that our perspective is limited. We see things through the lens of the here and now, while God sees things from the vantage point of eternity. What feels like a significant loss to us may only be a temporary detour in God's grand design. He knows where he's leading us, and he knows the best route to get there. Sometimes that route involves a closed door because he wants to ensure that when we do walk through the right door, we'll be prepared and the situation will be exactly what we need it to be. Closed doors are also opportunities for growth. They force us to pause, reflect, and often seek God more earnestly. When things are going smoothly, we can become complacent, relying on our own understanding and abilities. But when a door closes, we're reminded that we're not in control and that we need to trust God's plan. It's in those moments of uncertainty that our faith is stretched and strengthened. We learn to rely on God more deeply, to seek his guidance, and to trust that he knows what he's doing, even when it doesn't make sense to us. The story of Joseph in the Bible is a powerful example of this.